What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to my channel, Movies and Reactions with Chris. I want to wish you all a happy New Year's Eve. We have one more day to get through till the New Year's here, and I wish you all a very happy New Year. I hope it's better for you all than 2020 was. I wish you all blessings and health and strength. So you guys, with all of that being said, in honor of the new year, I wanted to do a list of my top 10 most anticipated films of next year. This is not the definitive list. This is not the right list. This is just my personal opinion. And I hope you guys will comment in the comment section below what you are most anticipated for next year. Your top 10 anticipated films list. So with all that being said, you guys, let's get it started. And I hope once this video is over, you guys don't totally hate me.
You suck!
So kicking off our list at number 10 is going to be Space Jam: A New Legacy. Now, I'm not going to lie, when I first heard about this film, I wasn't necessarily feeling it. One of the things about Space Jam is that I've heard about a Space Jam reboot or sequel since the time I was like in middle school. That's 10 plus years removed. So it's something I never thought was going to happen. I don't know if it was in development hell. I don't know what they did, but we are finally getting a new Space Jam film. I've seen some of the jerseys and the designs and the colors, and I'm not going to lie, I'm really kind of excited for this one. The original Space Jam was something me, my brother, and my dad bonded over. Michael Jordan's my favorite basketball player of all time. I love the Looney Tunes. That was like some of the first cartoons I watched. So I hope that with this film, this will be something that when I have kids, we can bond over this film the way I did with my brother and my dad. So number 10, Space Jam: A New Legacy. Coming in at number 9, you guys, is a film and a character that I know little to nothing about, and that's going to be Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, right off the bat, what I do know is that Shang-Chi is a Marvel superhero that's going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has a great track record for putting out good films. They have a great record of putting out films that we don't even know that we want. Before Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I knew nothing about these characters. That film turned out perfectly. The only thing I'm hoping for is that this film does better than what Iron Man 3 did when they're supposed to be giving us the actual Mandarin in this film. So I hope that they don't blow it like they did with Iron Man 3, the fake out twist in Iron Man 3.
You had one job. Just the one?
Number 8 on my list, you guys, is going to be Venom: Let There Be Carnage. I, right off the bat, don't like the title of this film. I am looking forward to this because I think that they're going to improve on some of the things that I think the first film just totally got wrong. Tonally, I think that first film was really off. The villain in that film was atrocious. I had a decent enough time with the film. I've never reviewed it on my channel. I have a decent enough time with it. It's just not one that I often rewatch. However, I do like Tom Hardy. I like the fact that Carnage is going to be in this film. And ultimately, I think that this film is going to somehow tie to the Spider-Man Homecoming films starring Tom Holland. I don't know. That's just kind of my theory. My ultimate hope is that it just improves on the first film, because the first film had me just thinking like, what's going on here? Like, what are you doing?
What? What are you talking about?
So coming in at number 7 on my list is going to be Fast and Furious 9, or F9 as it's being called in some of the promotion media. I'm not going to lie. I feel like this franchise has gone on way too long. Unfortunately, with the passing of Paul Walker back in 2013, that was tragic. I felt that they probably should have ended with Fast and Furious 7. I think the way that film ended, it was a beautiful ending. I loved everything about it. Then we got the Fast and the Furious Part 8, The Fate of the Furious. I despise that film. I don't like it much. Like, there's things I like about it, but there's a lot of bad in that film that I don't like. And then they come with the Fast and Furious 9 trailer and they find a way to hook us back in. That's something about the Fast and Furious franchise. It's a little over the top, but they find a way to keep bringing you back in. For me, it was bringing back Sung Kang as Han and bringing back Lucas Black as Sean, both from the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I have been wanting them to bring back Sean for the longest time. They brought him back for a cameo in Fast and Furious 7. I've wanted him to come back in a bigger role. Tokyo Drift is one of my favorite films. So as long as they find a way to keep making these films enjoyable and at least decently entertainable to watch, I'll keep paying to watch them. I'm not even going to lie. I'm the target audience for this film.
Shut up and take my money.
Coming in at number 6 on my list is going to be Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, I am a giant Godzilla fan. Godzilla is one of my favorite properties out there from my childhood. For those of you who remember watching Cartoon Network back in the 90s, Hanna-Barbera, which did Scooby-Doo and some of the TV shows that we watched as kids, they had a Godzilla show back from the 70s that they had aired reruns every single day on Cartoon Network when I was a kid growing up. You had the abysmal 1990s reboot, which I won't even talk about here, but that show had a animated show on, I think it was Fox Kids or WB Kids, that was actually really good. And the video games and a lot of the properties, I love Godzilla. I liked the 2014 film, I liked Kong, and I liked Godzilla King of the Monsters that came out in 2019. I was deployed when I saw it. I enjoyed all of those films, so I'm really looking forward to see a big Hollywood production of Godzilla and King Kong going toe-to-toe. And because they had a film from way back in like the 60s or 70s, which is really old. I have a decent enough time with that, so I'm really looking forward to the new one. So kicking off my top 5 is going to be Mortal Kombat, coming out in April. Now, again, it could be due to change due to the COVID. Matter of fact, all these films on this list up to this point and going forward could change because of COVID. But what I like so far from what I've seen about this film is the casting. You got Ludi Lin, who's going to be portraying Liu Kang. There's some other casting choices that I actually like in this film, and I think they're going to get this one right. I honestly feel like with everything, how the video games have been evolving, even since Mortal Kombat 9, I feel like there's so many directions they can go. They can go a classic route. They could go the Mortal Kombat 9 route. I think that they really have to not know what they're doing to get this film wrong. My only hopes for this film is that it is better than the 2 live-action films that preceded it, and I hope there's a lot of fan service, but I hope it's not taking over the film, the fan service. There's only a couple of things that I think you need to include into the film for us to enjoy it as fans, especially that iconic line, you guys.
Finish him.
Coming in at number 4 on my list is going to be No Time to Die. And I'm actually a little bit sad about this one due to the fact that it's going to be Daniel Craig's 5th and final performance as James Bond. I am pretty sure that eventually, probably 5 to 10 years down the road, we'll eventually get a James Bond reboot. But I have really enjoyed Daniel Craig's performance as James Bond. He's definitely been one of my favorite Bonds. It's just sad to see that this is going to be his final film, but I think he's done a great job. And one of the things I like about this is that it's going to tie into Skyfall and Spectre. I enjoyed both of those films, and my only hope for this film is that they find a way to make it meaningful, because it's going to be Daniel Craig's final performance. I'm not saying you have to kill Bond off or anything like that, but I just want to see a meaningful ending. I want to see an ending to this story, and I look forward to more Bond in the future. And entering into the top 3 is another film that was due to come out in 2020, October of this year, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it got pushed back, and that is Halloween Kills. Now, if you're new to my channel, let me just go ahead and say this. Michael Myers is my favorite horror killer of all time. He's, in my opinion, he's better than Jason. He's better than Freddy, Chucky, Ghostface, all of them. He's my guy. He's the GOAT in my personal opinion. Now, with the 2018 film, I mostly enjoyed the film. I haven't covered it on my channel. I will when I eventually get to it. I'm only on Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I like that film a lot. It, to me, is one of my favorites. I think in the third act, though, they lost me a little bit. I felt like there were some things in that film that I don't want to see them replicate. Specifically, the Dr. Sartain stuff. I don't think we need a Loomis character, Dr. Loomis from the original films. I don't think we need a Dr. Loomis replacement. And what they did with Dr. Sartain in that last film, they need to not replicate that in this film. Just, they're bringing back some actors from the original 1978 Halloween film. We're going to get Jamie Lee Curtis back. We're going to get some of the supporting cast back from the 2018 film. Just stick the landing. Please, I'm begging you, don't mess up like last time.
You blew it!
Number 2 on my list is another film that was supposed to come out in 2020, in May of 2020, and that's Black Widow. Now, it's going to be spoiler alert for Avengers Endgame and some of the Marvel Cinematic Universe plots. My only gripe about this film, it's still my number 2, because I was so ready for this film to come out, and then when the COVID thing happened, I was distraught. You can ask my wife. This is the one film in 2020 I really wanted to see. Now, my only gripe with this film is that I feel like it's too little too late to give us a Black Widow film. And the reason being is, spoiler alert for Avengers Endgame, they did kill off Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, in Avengers Endgame, and Tony Stark. We all know this by now. If you don't, you've been living under a rock. Now, I feel like it's too little too late. I would have liked to see her get a film maybe before this. But what I like about it, it's in between that gap of what happened with her between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. So I feel like that's going to be cool. And then also, here's a theory that I have, you guys. Yelena Belova is her sister in this film. She's another Black Widow. She is another Black Widow in the comic books. My theory is that Yelena is going to be the new Black Widow, and we are going to have a Black Widow in the future Avengers films and future Marvel Cinematic Universe films. That's what I believe. There's no confirmation on that. But it's rumored that Yelena is going to appear in the Hawkeye Disney Plus series. So I feel like that kind of supports my theory. So ultimately, I'm looking forward to this one. Taskmaster is going to be in the film. There's a rumor that Robert Downey Jr. is going to have an appearance in the film as Tony Stark, which again, I'm 50-50 on that, because I'm like, his story is ended. It's probably going to be a cameo. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to this film, you guys. This is number 2 on my list. I'm most excited to see this. There's only one other film on this list that I want to see more than this. And coming in at number 1, you guys, and my most anticipated film of 2021 is going to be none other than Spider-Man 3. That's the title I'm just sticking with right now as of today, New Year's Eve 2020. Unless there's something going on. There's a trailer that just launched while I'm recording this. There's no title. There's no trailer. So I'm just calling it Spider-Man 3. I have been waiting for this film for a long time. Now, let's take some of the Spider-Verse rumors and the Alfred Molina casting coming back as Doc Ock and the Jamie Foxx stuff coming back as Electro. Let's take all of that out of it. Even if this film only is a follow-up to Spider-Man Far From Home, and they only resolve the plot line of how, spoiler alert for Spider-Man Far From Home, how that film ended with him going on the run, with his identity being exposed to the entire world. J. Jonah Jameson in that film, at the end of that film, that little tease, that little tease cameo we got. I am excited for this film. Take all of the rumor stuff out of it. I am still excited for this film. I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite superhero across all media, all genres. I really am looking forward to this. Now, if it turns out that all of this Spider-Verse stuff, and they really are bringing Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back, and Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx, and Benedict Cumberbatch is coming back as Doctor Strange, that's confirmed. That's not a rumor. I'm excited for this film. He's going to fill the role of the mentor, the mentor role that we had seen previous films with Tony Stark and Peter Parker. Doctor Strange is going to take that role. I am excited for this film, you guys. I think that this film is going to tie to the Venomverse some kind of way. I think it's going to set up Sinister Six between the two franchises, the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Sony Spider-Man universe. I am excited for this film. It's been confirmed that this is not going to be Tom Holland's final performance as Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He'll be in other films. Apparently, they're working on a deal to extend those roles to give him even more films. I am looking forward to this, you guys. Spider-Verse or no Spider-Verse, this is my number one movie for next year. So, you guys, what are your favorite films that you're looking? What are your most anticipated films that you're looking forward to next year? Are any of the films that I covered on my list gonna be on your list? Remember, my list isn't the right list, it's just my list. Let's have a friendly conversation. You guys can hit me on Facebook, you can hit me in the comment section below, Instagram. Let's have a friendly discussion. What's your top 10, or if you don't feel like doing a top 10, what's your top 5? I didn't throw I wanted to put the Snyder Cut Justice League on here, but unfortunately, due to the fact that that's going to be more of a TV series that's going to they're going to put it together as a movie. It's releasing on HBO Max as a series, so I didn't put that on my list. I wanted to put on my list, but like I said, it's not a movie. Honorable mentions on my list was The Eternals, Morbius, The Suicide Squad, and The Forever Purge. 4 films I'm looking forward to. So you guys, what do you think of my list? Comment below, let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys tomorrow on Friday, on New Year's Day, when I talk about Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. See you guys then.